seated. If you want to sit on a couple blocks or a cushion or a couch or a dining room chair, that is also totally fine. As long as your spine is long, your shoulders are back. Just that act of rolling the shoulders back and lengthening our spine helps our energy. You can just feel yourself how the energy is low when we sit like this versus lengthening spine and reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. Just cast your gaze down or close your eyes for a moment, looking inward. Noticing sensations in your body this morning. Can you notice the air in your skin? Notice the sensation of the ground beneath you. Notice sounds around you. Can you feel your heartbeat? Possibly hear your heartbeat? Can you hear your breath? Can you feel the breath in the back of the throat? Listen for that sound. Try to make it a little bit more audible. And lengthen it. Not so that it's strained, but so that it's audible and even. Visualize yourself drawing energy into the body with each inhalation. And feel it spreading throughout the body as you exhale. And set an intention for today's practice. What do we need? Do we need to feel energized? We just need to move, to feel connected. And once again, checking in with the spine, making sure it's long. And then bring your chin to your chest. What tensions are you holding in your neck and your shoulders? Feel your shoulders drawing away down towards the ground. Bring your head back to center and then take your left ear over towards your left shoulder and let your right shoulder fall away. Bring your left hand up, setting it close to your right ear. Coming back to center, bring your right ear over towards your right shoulder and bring your right hand up. Let that left shoulder draw away. And come back to center. And then roll your shoulders forward and up and exhale back and down. Inhale forward and up. Exhale, can you squeeze your scapula together and draw them down towards the earth? Inhale forward and up. Squeeze your scapula together and draw them down. Inhale forward and up, and exhale back and down. And then draw your right arm across your body and bring your left arm up. Push the straight arm into the bent one. And release, draw your left arm across the body and bring the right arm up. And release. Bring your right hand down, reach up for the sky. And as you exhale, come over to the right. You find length from your left hip, roll the way to the fingers, all the way to the wrist. And coming back, take your left hand down, reach the right hand up, and come over all the way to the left. And come back, take the right hand behind, the left hand on the right knee, and lift and twist, look over your right shoulder, lengthen and twist. And come back to center, take your left hand behind, take your right hand on your left knee, lengthen and twist, and lengthen and twist. And come back to center. And come onto your hands and knees. Make sure your wrists are directly beneath your shoulders. Then as you exhale, round through your back, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. Inhale to arch and look up. Really pull the shoulders back. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch and look up. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch and look up. And exhale to round. Inhale to arch and send your sit bones back to your heels. Stretch your arms out, forehead down. Walk your hands over to the left. Can you feel your right side stretching from your hip all the way to your wrist? And come back to center and walk your hands over to the right. Finding length through your left side. And come back to center and rise back up onto your hands and knees. And then take your right arm and thread it through. Bring your right ear to the ground, taking your left hand up towards the top of the mat. We're looking for a slight twist in the back and the shoulder. So if you're not finding that, you might want to take your left hand and really push away, finding a little bit more weight on the right shoulder. Come back to center. Take your left arm, thread it through, left shoulder on the ground, and you're pushing away through your right hand. and come back to center. Hands directly beneath your shoulders. As you exhale, feel your low belly draw in and lift your knees just a little bit, both of them, and set them back down. Look up. So we're going to do this a few times. So exhale, lift the knees, feel the belly draw in, and knees down, look up. So exhale, you're lifting your knees just a little bit, looking up, and exhale. So knees up, belly engaged, knees down, look up. Belly engaged, knees up, knees down, gaze up. Knees up, and knees down, look up, and take child's pose. We're just working the core muscles there a little bit. So again, coming up into tabletop, your shoulders are back, making sure that we're feeling that low belly engage. So blow all the air out, lift the knees, and set the knees carefully back down as we look up. So we exhale, lift the knees. Inhale, set the knees down, look up. Exhale, lift the knees. Inhale, set the knees down, look up. Last time. Exhale, lift the knees. Inhale, knees down, look up, and child's pose. Inhale, tabletop, and this time we'll press all the way to down dog. So same engagement through the core and pressing to down dog. Pedaling your feet out in your down dog. And then trying to reach both heels back towards the earth. Chest pressing back towards your thighs. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and let go. And then rising up to standing. Just have your feet side by side, lift your hands high, reach up. So you can interlace your fingers, lengthen, feel both feet rooted to the earth as you're reaching up for the sky. And then as you exhale, come over to the right, finding length right from your left ankle all the way to the left wrist. Inhale to come up and exhale coming over to the other side. Inhale to come up and just let your hands come down. Roll your shoulders forward and up and exhale back and down. And forward and up and back and down and forward and up and back and down. So we'll do that again, this time taking your right hand on your left wrist, lifting. You can take your feet about hip width apart. Make sure they're parallel to each other. And this time as you come up, you're pulling the left hand over to the right and let your left heel come up off the ground. And come back. So you're pulling the left hand over to the right, let your left heel come off the ground and come back. And pulling over to the right, let your left heel come up and come back. And last time, so we'll pull over, let the heel come up, really pulling the left arm, and then set your left heel back down on the ground, feeling a really nice juicy stretch all the way down the arm, waistline, and leg. And come back. Let your arms come down. Just roll your shoulders out. And then back up, taking your left hand on your right wrist and pulling over to the left. Let your right heel pop up off the mat. And coming back, I'm pulling the right hand over to the left. Let the right heel pop up off the mat. And come back. And over to the left, letting the right heel pop up off the mat. And back. And last time, we'll come over to the left. And once you've gone as far as you can, then set the right heel back down, finding that really nice juicy stretch all down the right side of the body. And come back, roll your shoulders forward and back and down, just letting that tension go. And now take your right foot in front of your left. If the floor is a long way away from some of you when we come over, I recommend that you have blocks lined up in front, okay? So right foot in front of left, and you can have your blocks on the ground. I'll bring mine over just in case. And now take your right hand on your left wrist again. Lift up. And pull your left hand over to the right. And notice where you feel this. You tighten your arm, your waist. You feel how your hip and your wrist are all connected, maybe even down to your knee. And coming back to center, and then bringing your hands down to the floor or to your blocks. Having your hands as close to your feet as you can, so that rather than having your blocks way out front, try to bring them back close to your feet if that's possible. Bringing your nose as close to your knee as you can. Notice if your toes pop off the ground, can you press down through the big toe mounds on both feet? And then walk your hands, if you've got the blocks, walk them both over to the right, feeling more of a stretch through the left hip, through the left leg, through the whole IT band on the outside of the left leg. Come back to center and walk your hands over to the left, just as a counter pose. And coming back to center, rising up to standing. And take your right foot behind your left. So your left leg is in front, right foot's behind, cross-legged, pressing down through the big toe mounds of both feet. So your knees are more or less together. You're just crossing the legs as tightly as you can without squeezing. Then take your left hand on your right wrist, lift up, and pull to the left. So finding the long line all the way from the wrist, all the way down. Where do you feel that? And for some of us, yeah, it might be just a balance issue. Can we pull to the left and stay upright? Coming back to center, swan diving down and bringing the hands down to the blocks or to the floor. And again, we want the hands as close to the feet as we can get them. What does that mean for you? We're not trying to force the body into any wonderful and wild shapes, just trying to release tension. We let go of the neck and the head. Try to lift the sit bones up towards the sky. Press the big toe mounts down. And then walk the hands over to the left. You notice how that intensifies through the right hip, right up to maybe your SI joint. It certainly does for me. And then all the way down towards the ankle. Come back to center and walk your hands over to the right. Back to center and slowly rise up to standing. And then bring your left hand onto your left hip. We're going to try some balance poses before we wear out our legs. So left hand, left hip, and then lift your right knee into your right hand. So just bringing the knee to the front and really feel the left foot on the floor. Notice the points of connection on the floor. Can you lift the crown of the head up towards the sky? And then take the right knee out to the right, trying to keep your pelvis stable. Your left hip bone still facing the front. Come back to center and release the right leg down to the ground. Right hand, right hip, and lift your left knee up. So noticing what else moved. Can we root the right foot down? Feel like we're growing a couple inches taller. And then take the knee out to the left. Trying to keep that right hip bone facing forward. Come back to center and release. So once again, left hand, left hip. So we want to shake all residual thoughts out of their head. We're just here in this moment. Left foot is feeling the mat or the floor beneath us. Lift the right knee up. Waistline is long. Left leg is straight, rooting down as we take the knee out to the right. Come back to center and release. Right hand, right hip. Root the right foot down. Lengthen through your torso. We want to keep that right leg straight. And then take the knee out to the left. Come back to center and release. Now bring your right foot up to your ankle, your calf, or your inner groin. Being mindful that the knee is back as far as you can. So it's not pointing to the front. We're trying to open up the hip as much as you can. If that simply doesn't work for you, you can always use your block to rest your toes on, like so. Or use 2 blocks. And again, we want to make sure that the left hip isn't sticking out to the left. We want to draw into the center line of the body. Bring your hands to heart center. Can we play with this just a little bit? So pushing the foot into the thigh or the leg. Inhale, open the arms out wide. What happens if you do that? And exhale, bring your hands back to heart center. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Exhale, back to heart center. Let's do one more. Inhale, open the arms out wide. And exhale back. And let it go. So taking the left foot to the ankle, the calf, the inner groin, you can Rest the foot on blocks should you need to. Remembering we want to draw the knee back. Root the right foot down, finding length through the body. And then inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale to bring them back. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale back. One more. Inhale, open the arms wide. And exhale back. Excellent. Bring the left foot down onto the ground. And then stepping the right foot towards the top of the mat and the left foot back. So bend your right knee directly over your right ankle. Left foot's turned in 2/3 of the way. Hips and shoulders face the top of the mat, the skinny side of your mat. Lean more weight into your back foot without bending that back leg. Bring your hands to heart center. So try to really root the feet here, not turning the feet at all, or the knee. Can you keep your knee really in place? And turn your body to the left, your upper body to the left. So open twist without moving your knees. Come back to center. And without moving your knees, can we twist to the right? And come back to center. So again, turning your upper body to the left without moving the thighs. That's the goal here. Come back to center and twisting the upper body to the right. And back to center. And now lift your hands high. Reach forward and put your hands down on the floor or on blocks on either side of the foot. We want to lengthen and draw the shoulders back. And then let the nose come down towards the knee. With your left hand remaining on the floor or on your blocks, sweep your right hand up into the air. Bring the right hand down beside your foot and step your left foot up to meet your right foot. Fold, let go, nice soft knees, just letting your head go. And rise up to standing. And then take the right leg back. So your left knee's bent directly over your left ankle. Right foot's turned in 2/3 of the way. Upper body's back. Hands to heart center. So we really want to focus on keeping the legs, hips stable. As we turn to the right. Come back to center and exhale. Just notice how far you can go to the left, and it might not be very far at all, and that's okay. Come back to center. Turn your upper body to the right, keeping your legs stable. And back to center and turn to the left. And back to center. Lift the arms high, reach, and come forward, bringing the hands down to either side of the foot, maybe onto blocks. Making sure you're drawing the shoulders back here and really trying to lengthen the torso before placing the nose on the knee or as close to the knee as you can. And then keeping the right hand down, either on your block or on the floor and sweep your left hand up towards the sky. So right hand down, left hand up. And bring both hands down. Step your right foot up to meet your left foot. Fold, let go. In fact, try wrapping your arms around the back of the knees and just bringing your nose towards your knees. Just giving your legs a hug. And release the arms and slowly rise back up to standing. And let's take the left foot way back again, bending the right knee. Make sure your left foot is turned in 2/3 of the way so that we're not really yanking that back knee. Because if our foot's out like that and then we try to turn, the knee's taking all the pressure. We don't want that. Let's lift the hands high, reach up. And then reach forward. Bring your hands down to either side of the foot. As you exhale, can you straighten your right leg? When I say straighten, I mean as much as seems reasonable for you. Preferably with your nose still more or less attached to your knee. And then keep your left hand down as you lift your right hand high. Bring the right hand down beside the right foot and step your left foot forward. Fold. And slowly rise up to standing. And take your right foot way back. Bend your left knee. Lift your hands high. So that same stability that we needed when we were turning, we find that in the thighs and the legs. And then reach forward. Bring the hands down to either side of the foot. Working towards straightening the leg. Right hand remains down as we lift the left hand high. So make sure you're not just lifting your hand, that we're turning the whole torso to the left. We really want to find that twisting through the back. Even if you can't go far, that's okay. But not just yanking the arm. Bring the left hand down and step your right foot up to meet your left. And fold. And slowly rise up to standing. Step your left foot way back, maybe even a little longer than you had it last time. Let's set up for warrior two. So your left knee is directly over your, right knee is directly over your right ankle. Left foot maybe just a little bit turned towards the front. Hips down. Can you feel the pelvic floor draw up a little bit? So we're not sticking the bum way back. And then bring the arms out. Let's turn the palms up towards the sky. Draw the hands back. Lift the heart. Like if there was sunshine, or maybe you're by a window, you can feel the sunshine just beaming down towards us. And then bring your right arm over, left arm under, hug. Inhale, open wide as you can go. And bring your right arm under, left arm over. Inhale, open wide. And right arm over, left arm under. Inhale, open wide. And right arm under, left arm over. Inhale, open wide as you can. And then turn the palms down towards the sky, the floor. Look to the right. Stable, solid. And then slide your left hand down your left leg, reach your right hand high. And come back to center, bring your right forearm to your inner right thigh, left hand up and over. Extended side angle. So that same lengthening through the waistline, through the hip, the ankle, the arm that we were doing earlier. And coming back to center, turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. So you can set that up how it's appropriate for you, how you're set up today. If you just want to turn around, that's fine. Put your left knees directly over your left ankle. Look at your right toes. Your right foot should be parallel to the short side of the mat. Maybe your toes are slightly turning to the left. Tailbone's down. Pelvic floor is drawn up. Shoulders are back. Take your arms out. Take them as wide as you can. Imagine the sunbeams radiating both down towards your chest and also outwards from your solar plexus. And then bring your left arm under, right arm over, giving yourself a big, big hug. Inhale, open wide. And left arm over, right arm under. Inhale to open wide. And exhale, left arm under, right arm over. Inhale to open wide. And exhale, left arm over, right arm under. Inhale to open wide. Palms face down. So bring your arms back. Keep the chest lifted. Turn your head to the left. And then slide your right hand down your right leg and lift your left hand up. Finding length through the left sideways from your hip to your wrist. And then coming back to center and bringing your left forearm to your inner left thigh. Right hand up and over. And coming up, turn your left foot in, take your hands on your hips. Push the outsides of the feet towards the outsides of the mat, so the short sides of the mat. Lift your heart. Hinge. And bring your hands down towards the earth. Let your head go. Inhale halfway. And exhale all the way up to standing. Heel, toe, your feet together. And let's come back up to the small side of the mat. One of the small sides of the mat. Doesn't matter. Let's just take our arms up and exhale, nice soft knees as we come down. And then step one foot back, step the other foot back. Take both knees down and lower your body to the earth. Your nose is on the mat. Draw your fingers back. Reach your feet out. Elbows draw back towards your heels. And then inhale, rise up to cobra. And exhale, come right down. Inhale, rise up to cobra. And take your hands off the mat. Leave your feet down. And exhale, back down. Inhale, rise up, no hands. And exhale down. Inhale, rise up, no hands. Can you squeeze your scapula together? And back down. One more like that. Inhale, rise up and up and up. Squeeze your scapula and make a pillow with your hands to your head, one way or the other. Now bring your forearms beneath you so that your elbows are directly beneath your shoulders. So Sphinx. So, sorry, there's right angles from your shoulder to your elbow, to your hands here, right up. Pull your chest forward, look up. Feel your shoulders roll back. So if you're feeling a stretch here, stay here. If you're not, start to straighten your arms, but really being mindful that the shoulders are not moving. So you're pulling forward and lifting. Setting the arms back down. Make a pillow with your hands and turn your head the opposite way that your head was turned last time. So let's do that again. So make sure that your arms are parallel to each other. Elbows directly beneath your shoulders. So Kathy, can you bring your arms in a little bit? In towards each other. So shoulders pull back. Imagine you're a turtle and you're lengthening through your neck as long as you can. Pull your low belly back a little bit. And then as you're able, work towards straightening your arms as long as your shoulders aren't coming back. If anybody needs more from there, walk your hands back. And release. Make a pillow with your hands and come down. Just bend your knees and gently sway your feet side to side. And then let's roll over onto our backs. Your feet are parallel to each other. Knees directly above the ankles, hands down. Before we come into bridge, we'll do a couple pelvic tilts. So as you inhale, sending your tailbone down towards the ground. And as you exhale, pressing the low back into the floor. Inhale, tailbone down towards the floor, the back arches. Exhale, pressing the low back into the floor. Inhale to arch. Exhale to press back. Inhale to arch. And exhale to press back. Coming back to neutral. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, lift your hips high. inhale right back down to the floor with control. Then inhale deeply. As you exhale, lift the hips high. Inhale right back down to the floor. Your next exhalation, lift the hips. Inhale to lower. Your next exhalation, lift the hips. Inhale to lower. And then bring your feet together, let your knees fall open. Just resting in the butterfly pose. Noticing the sensations in the low back. Bring your knees together, then straighten your left leg and draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder. So squeezing either on your shin or behind the knee, whatever is doable for you without straining through your shoulders and neck. Release that leg down to the ground and draw your left knee in. Set your left foot flat on the floor. Bring your right ankle onto your left knee. Take your right hand between the two legs and draw your left knee back. So thread the needle. Without taking your ankle off your knee, put your left foot flat on the floor again, and then fold both knees over to the right. If you still have your blocks handy, taking one under your top knee, if it doesn't come to the ground, feels a little bit more soothing, more relaxing. Keeping your shoulders down on the ground, arms out. And turn your head to the left. So your knees are bent to the right. Your head is turning away from the bent knees. Just having that block for your knees to rest on rather than having them dangle in midair can just feel a little bit more relaxing, nurturing. Come back to center. Straighten your right leg and put your right foot flat on the floor and put your left ankle on it. Thread your left hand between the two legs. So thread the needle on the left. Without taking your left ankle off the right knee, put your right foot down and allow both knees to fall to the left. You can use a block under one of your knees. Turn your gaze to the right. Come back to center. Slide your feet along the mat for Shavasana. Allow your feet to part. Your hands at your sides, palms up. Just taking a couple of minutes to be still. Feel the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe. To be present in this moment. As busy thoughts come in, just come back gently towards the breath. You have a thought, you let it go, you come back. Finding the peacefulness between the thoughts. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretch your hands up over your head. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big, big hug. And roll to your right side. Take a couple of breaths here. Take a moment to be grateful for this moment, to be thankful to yourself for showing up. Before pressing up into a comfortable seated position. And let's all just take our arms up and embrace this moment as it is. Bringing our hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me today. May you have peace and joy in your day. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next time. You're welcome to unmute yourself if you'd like, or not, also fine. But I will see you next time. Okay.